Let's start with safety. The first thing you're going to want to make sure you do is take the key out and set it aside so that nobody can turn it on for you while you're making your adjustments. Next, let's take the belts off. Roll that one over the top. That's our drive side belt. Again, roll this over the top. That's our idler side belt. And we'll leave them there so that we know where they are. And we can adjust the carter by taking the included Allen wrench here and lefty-loosey, and that loosens up this whole side of the carter. And to make the adjustment, we'll take our adjustment rod, and there is a hole in this bearing right here, and as we adjust this, can you see it rotate back and forth? There, it's going closer. You can now hear the teeth touching. Here, it's going further away. So let's set it, as you see my head on the overhead camera, let's set it where we want it, and then let's also adjust the other side. Loosen this up and do the same thing on this side. So again, if we rotate back, we get so close that the teeth touch. If we rotate towards the carter, nice and wide gap. So we'll set it there where we want it. We're looking for about 1 business card's thickness. And if we were going to use the carter, we would then tighten it up right there and put both of the belts back on and be ready to use it. But let's say you want to do a little bit more maintenance, a little bit more of a deep clean on this. Loosen here. Loosen here. That lets us shift the bearings all the way around so we can push to one side. We can now access that, get any gunk out of the bearings that's in here, and we can do the same thing by pushing it here. You can't get as much access on this side because of the hub on that liquor in, but we can do the same thing up here where we can now see there's a gap there, and same thing, we can now see a gap there. But let's say you want to just do a little bit more maintenance and actually do some disassembly. So there is a pin over here that we'll take off. We will take this large pulley off. We will then drive out this pin, just like that. And then we will loosen this hub from the shaft. So this is a 1/8 inch Allen key. And then that will let us remove this shaft. If we take a punch pin here, that lets us tap that through. Now you can see there is a key right here. Okay, so the keyway is no longer in that shaft. That lets us pull this bearing out. Then we can remove that, and voila, you have access to your entire liquor in, and your shaft is out. So now if you have anything in the bearings here, you want to clean that out. Clean underneath while you can get to it. And then while you're at it, clean off the hub if it's dirty at all. Clean anything out of there. Oops. There we go. And then to put it back in, I'll just slide that shaft in. Okay. And here we want to make sure that the key, the little key right here, is flush with the end of that hub. So you're going to have to play around to get it just right. You don't want it to stick in, you don't want it to be too far out. We'll tighten that up just like that. And then we have to center this, so tap that bearing in. You want it to rest so that the shaft is flush with this edge. And then And we'll come back and tighten this bearing up. You want to end up with the bearings pushed up against either the hub or the wooden drum. You don't want to have any spacing there. You want those to be right up against it. That's one way that fiber gets in there. And then I did that real fast, so I'll show you again. There's the hole here, and here is this pin. This slides into here. This pulley goes over, clicks into place. This goes onto there. We'll do the same thing on the Swift. The only difference there is that you need to remove this pulley with a square drive instead of with the cotter pin there, and then you also need to remove the large pulley over here as well as loosening the hub. And in order to remove this pulley, you will use the same 1/8 inch Allen key as you use on both this hub and on this hub. Now that we have it back together, we can make an alignment here. We'll tighten these back up, like I said, so that the bearings are right up against the drum. And let's take a look here and here. Tighten that up. And over here, we'll tighten this one up. And then we'll put our belts back on. You can hold that over the top of this and rotate this drum away from you. And that one pops on. And over there. And again, same thing, hold it over the top. It'll pop on. Then we'll want to listen. Sounds like the teeth are not ticking. So we made a good tight adjustment, but not too tight. And now we're all good to go.